So, I've been watching the Dexter saga. I think it was 2003, 2004, 5, something like that. Been watching ever since then, and really been a big fan of it. And the New Blood, it was kind of like a soft take on Dexter. I mean, it wasn't the brutalness. I'm in my truck because I have kids, young kids inside, and my wife. I don't want to be bugged while doing this. So it was kind of New Blood was kind of a soft take on Dexter. It wasn't really like the brutal Dexter that we got with the original one, right? And but it was still entertaining. All right, it kind of introduces him to his son Harrison after he escaped with Dexter's girlfriend. I can't remember. She was the poison lady. She liked to poison. I can't think of her name right now. She went to like South America, and Harrison went with her, and Dexter was supposed to meet her down there. But what ended up happening is that, he has something different for his son than anyone else. That's what comes out in Resurrection. That's what he tells him. So with that, he probably had that and said, hey, look, if I hang out with my son, he's going to die. Everyone I try to care about dies. So he left him down there, and he meets him in New Blood, and he doesn't know how to take him. And then by the end of New Blood, something happens, and then we get this new series called Resurrection, and we see Dexter in a hospital with recovering from a gunshot wound to the chest, right? And he's in New York. I don't know how he survived, but he was by another name. Hello, how are you? So he's in New York, and he God, what happened? He becomes like an Uber driver, like a drive share service driver, and he meets this guy named Blessings, and this guy's from Africa, and that guy has a brutal history as a child in Africa. He was one of the child soldiers, and after 2 weeks of knowing Dexter, he gives him the rundown on what happened to him, and this is Blessings. Okay, so, and that's that Blessings Camara. That's his real name, and he plays a guy who's an who's from like Africa, and was a child soldier. And hey, what's up, Toby? And he tells Dexter about this this guy that they call him the Dark Passenger, and that bugs Dexter because he was the original Dark Passenger. And this guy like chops people's heads off. And so Dexter's like, aha, I'll get after this guy. And so he catches this guy and ends up, and does his thing with him, and ends up going back to his apartment. And he gets invited to the he finds an invitation to this meeting. He's like a new invite. I mean, that's what we assume. So no one knows who he really is because the dark passenger has this way of cloaking himself on digital cameras. And no one can see his face. And Dexter was like, I need to fill my need. And so he ends up accepting the invitation, and it says so he gets this guy's fingerprint, and somehow, and like, it's, I don't think that it would work for me if I were to do the same thing and like move his fingerprint onto mine, but it works in the series. Okay, so that's like a flaw. So he ends up going into this, getting invited into this deal, and he meets up with Uma Thurman, and she is, let's see, where is she? Uma Thurman plays a character named Charlie, and Charlie is special operations trained. She's some sort of ranger, some sort of special ops trained, and she works for this guy, and let's see, where is he? Did I lose him? Uh-oh. Wait, did I lose him? Well, oh, here he is. She works for this guy, and it's by actor Peter Dinklage. I called him Dinkler, but his name's Leon Prader. Okay? And he is like a billionaire investor, and he has this weird habit. He likes, hey, what's up, Diedic? I'm talking about Dexter Resurrection. He has this weird habit. He likes to collect memorabilia with serial killers, and he's got all this stuff. He's got the John Wayne Gacy clown suit. He's got Jeffrey Dahmer's refrigerator that's completely stained with blood. He's got all kinds of stuff, and like all this. He's got Dexter's slides. He's got he's got all kinds of artifacts from these different serial killers, and he likes to, that's his hobby, and he's just this rich billionaire guy that has this weird hobby, which is fine. Well, Charlie works for Leon Prader, who's played by Peter Dinklage, and Charlie's Uma Thurman. I'm not going to repeat any of that. I'm just going to say Charlie, Peter, or Leon Prader, and I'm going to use their movie names, or their series names. And it ends up that Dexter goes in there and fakes his thumbprint, goes into there and sees all this stuff, and is introduced, and they think he's the dark passenger and cuts people's heads off. Well, Leon Prader, the billionaire, he has the Bay Harbor Butcher's slides, his blood slides, which Dexter made. And he came across those, and Dexter's just like, oh, and he touches him. He goes, hey, hands off, right? And so Dexter's gonna basically, from here to this point of people wondering about the what do you call it, the Ripper, the New York Ripper. He's got, and also he has this hook, this long. It's like a manhole cover remover. It's like a long hook. It's, I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3 feet long, and it's got a handle on it, and then the hook on the end to remove like manhole covers. But it looks sharpened like into like a blade, the hook part. And that's the weapon of the New York Ripper. All right. So it comes, so everyone's kind of wondering about the New York Ripper. No one knows about the New York Ripper. But Leon Prader, the billionaire, right? he shows Dexter at, you know, this is at some point that he has this letter from this guy that killed his parents. Okay, and here's the letter, and you can stop this and kind of read it. You can actually look this up. Okay, so what happens to Leon Prader? His parents die at the hands of this guy. I can't remember his name. Oops. But this guy, so Leon Prader, the billionaire, like starts talking to this guy, and he's sitting there telling him, I've killed more people than your parents. And he grew up in like the Bronx where Leon Prader grew up, and there was these stories of the New York Ripper, and so apparently it's strongly implying in the series, no one's sure yet, that this guy who killed Leon Prader's parents in a DWI accident is the New York Ripper, or was at one time. That's what they're implying. And that's what I'm implying. That's what I think. Because I don't really know the timelines, but they said that all of a sudden the New York Ripper quit killing. And you can like clarify in the comments if you know when this guy did. Or when the killings quit happening, is if it was the same time as he went to jail, or afterwards, or long before, or, you know, no one knows. So, but anyhow, Leon Prader, the billionaire, a billionaire dwarf, he somehow, he's enamored by this guy. I don't know why he wants to go and meet this guy in prison, but he gets to know him, I guess, to forgive him, or just ask him, why'd you act so foolish and kill my parents in a car accident? And he friended this guy, and and the guy opens up, and apparently he's sick, because it says in the fan wiki for Dexter Resurrection, this guy died presumably by an illness. So he in jail. So he gets to know this guy, and this guy like spills his guts telling Leon Prader, the billionaire dwarf, that he that he killed more than his parents. And it doesn't say how or why. It may have just been he got away with DWI. He may have been a DWI guy, and that's what and he was a serial killer and liked to kill people like that. I mean, no telling with Dexter. Well, so here's my deal. Leon Prader's obsessed with this New York Ripper because he operated in the area that Leon grew up in the Bronx. So what happened is, and so Leon's wondering about this, and there's a bunch of fan theories, and I'll go over them. One is this guy, Blessings. Okay, people say it's him because he had this troubled childhood. Okay, I don't think so. I think he's a different type of killer. This guy here is a detective, like an assistant to where is she? Claudette, Detective Claudette, and Detective Claudette. They think that she has Alzheimer's, and the new theory is that she's the Ripper, and she has some kind of because she always has to put like headphones on. But I think most people think that this guy, but no one knows. No one knows who the New York Ripper is. Okay? She is a very thorough, in the series, a very thorough detective, kind of obsessed. And she puts her headphones on and starts investigating, and she plays music. I think it's like Saturday Night Fever or something. And, it's cool music, but she's like the head detective, okay? And but some people are thinking that she does it. All right. Another fan theory was this guy is the Trinity Killer's son. They think that he's the New York Ripper. But to me, I think he's too young to be the New York Ripper. Okay? But this is the Trinity Killer's son. I didn't put his name up. But that's his son. All right? They think that he's, and I'm going to tell you what my theory is. Okay, some people think that this guy, but after the last episode, I don't think he could be the New York. He's just a jerk, okay? And after the last episode, we kind of find out that he's just kind of a wimp and just a bully. That's what I think. Not New York Ripper stuff. So here's the deal. So that's going to be the grand enemy, the protagonist for Dexter. Well, we also got Angel Bautista who's saying, well, hey, I think Dexter's the Bay Harbor Butcher. And everyone's like, well, that was already solved. And there's probably a lot of people that let their guard down in front of Dexter at Miami PD that think that he's probably the Bay Harbor Butcher, but they're like, it's closed. And they're like, well, Dokes is the Bay Harbor Butcher. And Dokes was special operations, and so is Charlie. She's special operations. It says that the possibility of them knowing each other, Dokes, let's see, I don't have a picture of Dokes. I'm sorry. But Dokes is special operation. He got framed by one of Dexter's girlfriends. Well, he didn't get framed. Dexter framed him, but framed him because he was dead and could already take the fall, and it didn't matter. He didn't kill him, though. So anyhow, so Charlie, probably through her special operations, knows that Dokes not the Bay Harbor Butcher, and that's another kind of climactic kind of thing. So back to the New York Ripper. Who is the New York Ripper? I think there's more than one, but initially there was one, and it was probably that guy in prison that killed Prader's parents. Okay, and so Prader is a billionaire investor and a dwarf, and is fascinated with serial killers. I don't think, because of his physical prowess, that he would be confident to be a serial killer and feel confident with it, because he seems to be a well thought out person, because he's a billionaire and made all these investments. So I think he practices, he's truthful with himself and his ability and his psyche, and he has this meeting with these serial killers. He sent them all this invites, and they have this like convention that's secret, right? And it's in this vault, and they met in this vault with all this like memorabilia around them, and they share who they are, and everyone thinks that Dexter is the dark passenger. But Dexter likes to kill serial killers. That's why he's there, right? He likes to kill murderers. I don't think Leon Prader knows this, but Leon Prader has this, and he's been and it's because I think he wants to pick up the mantle. Hey, what's up? He wants to pick up the mantle of the New York Ripper, but he wants to get a feeling of how it feels to approach someone and take their lives. Okay? That's what I think. Okay? And he has this convention of serial killers, which he figured out, like through the police department, and got the evidence and all that. And so this Claudette chick, I think her assistant, the detective, the woman, I think that maybe her assistant is helping out Prader and to get the access to this stuff. But Claudette doesn't know anything. But anyhow, so and I don't know if he knows if Prader and that detective, the assistant to that guy, he may be a killer. But I think Leon Prader, he's been making phone calls to the victim because he's well researched in the New York Ripper cases. He's making phone calls to the victims' families and harassing them and acting them and giving them these gory details about his about their loved one's murder and harassing them. And it's Leon Prader doing it. And I think that he is trying to get kind of some training. He wants to be trained by the best to kill. And so we're 2 episodes away, I think, from season 1 being done. But what I think is that he thinks that the Bay Harbor Butchers, but then he's going to find out that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher. And he's like, well, you little sly dog. I can't really say if y'all, I mean, well, I'll put spoilers. Okay. So Dexter essentially kills all of the killers at this convention, or he arranges for their downfall, right? Like this girl's Lady Vengeance. Gone. This guy, Pal, I think is his name. He's the tattoo surgeon. Gone. He actually got disposed of the way that he did in the original series. How Dexter did it. He gone. And they think that he was from the first season, but no one, they I don't know. But he went and cut a tattoo off someone and everyone got thrown off. Well, no, this ain't the, in the first Dexter. Okay. This guy, Gareth, gone. He is they call him the Gemini. Because he kills in pairs. Okay. Gone. Okay, the only one that escaped Dexter's wrath, hopefully I got them all, in Dexter Resurrection, is this guy, Rapunzel. His name's Al, I think, but I never catch his name. But he fakes like an injury on a bike trail or something, and he asks some girl to help him. And she has like a long hair, and he's the only one that escaped. And I think he acts like a freaking doofus, but he's a family man. And so Dexter's like, well, he can't be that stupid. They think that this guy is the most similar to the Trinity killer. But I think that Leon Prader brought all these serial killers into his convention. He's been doing it for quite some time. So he can pick up the mantle of the New York Ripper, being a little dwarf, and use his lack of physical stature, able to adequately use his physical stature to perform, and this is my theory, to perform the same type of murder that the New York Ripper did. He's just going to pick it up, because I think it was the guy that killed his parents from a DWI accident. But that's all I got. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have any questions? I'm just out in my truck, quiet. I'm drinking some watermelon soda. Oh, it's Dexter Resurrection, Rosie. It's on Paramount Plus. It's a series. And if you haven't seen Dexter, the series started like in 2005. And you could probably go and do like a Google search and watch the first Dexter and just kind of go, and you probably wouldn't have to watch, I think it's 9 seasons or 8 seasons, something like that. You probably wouldn't have to watch all 8 seasons to find out, to get the good. Just go and Google like the best episodes to watch. Like I would think the Ice Truck Killer, the Trinity Killer. Does anyone else know? It's Dexter, the series. And then go and watch, after you watch that first series, go and watch New Blood. And then there was another, and that's only 1 season. And then, and then they have the Original Sin, which got canceled for a season 2. It wasn't supposed to, but I think it's just because they want to focus on Dexter Resurrection. And then after Original Sin came out, then Dexter Resurrection came out. And it picks up after New Blood, where Dexter flees his home territory of Miami, and he goes up to New York, and it seems like he kind of chills out on hunting people down, and then this Dexter Resurrection picks up after New Blood. But the Original Sin kind of explains everything about Dexter. So you could probably watch that in any order. You could probably watch that first and then go and kind of, go watch the original Dexter. Watch the Original Sin, because that's when he's a child or like a teenager. And then watch that. It's only 1 season. And then go pick some seasons, use a Google. You can watch the whole thing, because I'll be honest with you. The Dexter, like 20 years ago, there were a couple of episodes, quite a few actually, but most of all the seasons were pretty good. But there were some dives as far as episodes. I think people can agree with me. But overall, the series was very. It kept, it was like being a part of this dysfunctional family that you liked hanging out with. It was really cool. And so, to have this come back like 20 years after the fact or something like that, 15 years after the fact, in this Resurrection and then New Blood and then Resurrection is just a lot of Dexter fans are very excited about it. If you go and look at these Facebook groups, they're just totally lit up with Dexter. So because it hits a curiosity that a lot of people have. I only know of one guy that went out and tried to mimic what Dexter did, and he only was successful, but now he's serving a life sentence. It's just stupid. So anyhow, yeah. Yep. So yeah, go and find the best episodes to watch for the original Dexter, and watch them. Or you can watch the whole 7-8 seasons. You can do that. It's entertaining. It's a good Sunday night thing or Saturday night thing if you're like well, I'm going to stay home, I'm broke or whatever, and you're eating dinner, you can invite some friends over and watch it and have dinner together or something and eat popcorn and watch this stupid series. But it's very enthralling. I mean, I've been very entertained with it. But y'all have a good night. This has been 30 minutes of me trying to explain this. But I think Leon Prader, the dwarf billionaire, is trying to train himself using other serial killers to pick up the mantle of the New York Ripper. I think he will be the second one. The first one died in prison. That's my fan theory. Y'all have a good night.